If you've ever found yourself looking at your business website and just thinking, why aren't we getting more calls from this? Then you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down one of the most common and honestly most costly mistakes that holds local service businesses back. All right, let's kick things off with a problem that you might know all too well. You've got a website. You put the time, the money into it, but the phone just isn't ringing like you thought it would. It's out there, it's online, but it just feels, well, invisible. And this leads to that classic question, right? Business owners ask this all the time. They see a little bit of online action, maybe for their company name, but they can't figure out why it's so hit or miss for the actual services they provide. Why isn't that visibility turning into actual jobs?
And that disconnect, man, it is so frustrating. You know you offer a fantastic service, but your website just isn't translating into booked jobs. And it almost always comes down to one simple kind of hidden part of your website's structure.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The culprit has a name, and we call it the generic services page trap. And honestly, it is probably the #1 reason a local service website fails to bring in a steady stream of good leads.
So, what exactly is this thing? Well, you've seen it 1,000 times. That standard website layout. Home, about, services, contact. You click on services and bam, it's just one long page listing out every single thing the business does, with a little paragraph for each one.
The best way to think about this is like a digital junk drawer. Yeah, it's packed with all sorts of useful stuff, boiler installs, drain cleaning, tap repairs. But for a potential customer who needs one specific thing, it's just messy and overwhelming. And for Google's algorithm, it's just confusing.
And this right here, this shows the huge disconnect between how you see it and how Google sees it. To you, it's a helpful, efficient list of everything you can do, but Google looks at that page and has to ask, okay, so what is this page really about? Which one of these 10 things is the main point? And let me tell you, when Google has to guess, you lose. You lose every single time to a competitor who's crystal clear.
Okay, so how do we fix this whole mess? Well, the solution is actually beautifully simple. You just have to stop trying to make one single page do the work of 10. It's really this simple. Instead of having that one messy page trying to cover everything, you build out a separate, dedicated page for every single service you offer. One page just for boiler repair, another one just for new boiler installations, a third one just for drain unblocking. Each one is laser-focused on a single topic.
Now, doing this has 4 massive benefits. First, you can target the exact words your customers are typing into Google. Second, you send a powerful signal to Google that you're an actual expert in that specific field. Third, you create the perfect, super relevant landing page for that customer. And fourth, all this focus dramatically boosts your chances of showing up in the local map pack, which, let's be honest, is exactly where you want to be.
But to really see why this is such a game changer, let's walk through a quick, real-world example. Let's put ourselves right in your customer's shoes for a second. It's a freezing cold night, and their boiler just died. They need help, and they need it fast.
So they grab their phone and they type in something super specific and super urgent. Now, notice what they didn't type. They didn't just search for plumber. They have a very specific, high-stakes problem, and they need an expert right now.
Okay, so now Google has a job to do. Its goal is to give that person the absolute best, most helpful result possible for their urgent search. It scans the web and basically has to choose between 2 different kinds of pages. And just look at the choice Google has. Option A is that generic services page we talked about. It mentions boiler repair, but it's buried among 10 other things. It's vague. It's kind of meh. But option B, whoa, that's a page titled Emergency Boiler Repair in Sevenoaks. It talks all about your 24/7 service, your process, your pricing. It's a perfect match. And that's the whole ballgame, right there. That dedicated page perfectly matches what the user actually wants, what we call their intent. And Google's entire system, its whole algorithm, is built to find and reward that kind of clarity. The clearer you are, the higher you're going to rank. Simple as that.
And look, this isn't just about some abstract SEO theory or ranking high for fun. This is about how this strategy connects directly to your bank account. It's about turning that online visibility into actual paying jobs.
Because when you have these dedicated pages, the whole system just works better. You start ranking higher for those valuable service keywords. This brings in more qualified traffic. We're talking people who are ready to buy now. The detailed page builds trust, and because it's exactly what they were looking for, they are so much more likely to just pick up the phone and call you.
I mean, think about it from the customer's point of view. When they land on a full page that's all about the exact problem they have, you're not just some generalist anymore. You're a specialist. And when it comes to an important job, who do people want to hire? They want the specialist every single time.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just an opinion. Industry research confirms this over and over again. In fact, in the world of local search, this strategy is the #1 factor for ranking higher in local search results. The single most important on-page thing you can do.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, it's this. Stop trying to make one single page do the work of 10 different services. Instead, give Google 10 different pages that can each stand on their own and win. Each service page is like a new front door to your business, waiting to welcome the perfect customer.
So I guess the real question to ask yourself is this. Is your website's structure an asset that's actively helping you win jobs? Or could it be a liability that's confusing Google and silently turning away your best customers without you even knowing it?
We really hope this quick explainer was helpful. If you want more no-nonsense practical advice just like this to help your local business grow, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel.
And of course, if you'd rather just have a team of experts take care of all this stuff for you and get more calls and more jobs booked, you can always find us over at Proper Marketers. Thanks so much for joining us.